Ranking the best wide receivers in Madden 24. We are back here with another tier list update. Today we got wide receiver, and today is going to be one of the toughest lists. I'm not going to lie to you. So we have in total, I think, over 30 wide receivers to go over. But before we go over the new cards, let's take a look at the old tier list real quick. Now, what do I think is changing? Why do I think it's changing? So I think Calvin still for sure S tier. I saw he was going for like 350K now that he got reduxed. Insane price for him. So what I'm going to have today, we're going to have the S tier, double me or like Moss for the receivers that do get it. We're going to have that as the S tier. Now, I know some people like double me gets countered by KOs and all this. I understand that, but I think it's still really valuable, especially if you ever do play man coverage as well, because it insta beats man press. And at times too, I have so many clips of Calvin Johnson clipping me and saying F you to my KOs. Plaxico, Hines Ward, Puka, and Jamar Chase into A. Puka's someone that I might drop twice. You might be like, why am I dropping Puka twice? I mean, outside apprentice at this point, for 0, it's good, but I think the slot apprentice for 0 is why Hines Ward is here as well. I should say that. I'm going to drop Puka twice. He went from S tier to like B tier. I know, crazy movement, but that's just what I'm thinking in the game right now. A tier, I'm also keeping Deion Sanders and Devin Hester because of their 0 AP X factors that I think are really, really nice. Now, this is what the tier list is looking like before we get into the new cards. Now, the first one we got right here is Yumo Wakamori anime card. He's 6'2", 93 speed, 94 acceleration. This is a card that I think would play though. So the main thing on him is the fact that he just gives a boost to the team, okay? And he boosts throw power to the quarterback. I think this is just a card that by the time we get all 99 throw power quarterback, sure, he'll move down, but he's just C tier because he boosts the team. That's it. That's the only reason he's here. It's not to do with anything he does on the field, just because he boosts QB throw power. I think that's valuable. Actually, I'll put him D tier. Actually, I lied. I'll put him D tier. And after that, we got Black History Month, Mushin Muhammad right here. He can be up to a 92 overall with 91 speed, 90 acceleration. He's 6'2", 90s cross board for out running, but also no discounted abilities. Just not good. Like the speed and everything at this point is just trash for me. He's going to go ahead and go in the F tier. And we get Miko Hardman right here, 94 speed, 94 acceleration, 5'10", 90 short running, 90 medium, 87 deep. I do think Van Jefferson is better than him. I can't lie. Like I know he's a little bit I mean, I guess it's the same reason you'd run Van Jefferson. Super Bowl theme team, he's not terrible, but I'm going to go ahead and put him in the D tier. And we get Jawan Jennings, first card of the video with 92 speed, 91 acceleration, 6'3". The height's good. Doesn't hit 90 short, 90 medium, 90 deep. For me, Jawan Jennings is going to go ahead, go in this F tier. After that, we get Shawn Taylor, wide receiver. He is 6'2", 92 speed, 93 acceleration, 90s across the board for out running. What sucks on these cards is the fact that they didn't give him discounted abilities. I believe they had them last year. 92 speed just really isn't great at this point either, so I'm going to put Shawn Taylor in this F tier as well. And we also get Darren Woodson with 93 speed, 6'1", 92 acceleration, 90s across the board for out running. Again, no discounted abilities. For me, I'm going to put him right by Shawn T in this F tier. After that, we get Rasheed Shaheed right here, 93 overall with 94 speed, 96 acceleration. He's 6 foot, 94 short, doesn't hit 90 medium, 93 deep. Again, no discounted abilities. For me, Rasheed Shaheed is going to go ahead and join this D tier. Now we get Greg Dortch right here, 5'7", 94 speed, 94 acceleration, 90s across the board for out running. The height is real, like, dude, 5'7" is kind of crazy. I will still put him D tier. After that, though, we get Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm just so surprised he just hasn't gotten a champion card, but 93 speed, 92 acceleration, 6 foot height, 90s across the board for out running. This time, though, he can get some discount abilities. He can get third down threat, slot apprentice, mid in, C or D, in my opinion. I mean, is he just as good as like Rashee Rice, 1 AP slot app? Yeah, I think he is. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in the C tier again. It's just like some it's just a little bit of discount abilities that I don't hate. Robert Woods this time, 93 speed, 90 short, 89 medium, 90 deep route running. I need Robert Woods at tight end, by the way. Remember that golden ticket, but again, no discount abilities or anything. So for me, Robert Woods is just going to go ahead and be in this F tier. Now we get Xavier Legette right here that gets all 32 team chems, 6'3" height, 96 speed, does not hit 90 for deep route running, but the short, the medium's great. Also for his abilities right here, he can get short and elite, wide receiver apprentice, or mid and elite, all for 1 AP, 96 speed this time. I think he is damn near B tier. Oh, you know what? I'll put him top in this. Like, man, he's top in the C or bottom in the B. I'll put him bottom in the B. I love these two cards that we're about to cover. I love these two cards. And the second one is going to be Roma Dunze. Again, 6'3", gets all 32 team chems, 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. And this time for his abilities, he can get red zone threat, route tech, slot-o-matic. Not great abilities, but love the stats, man. Really like Roma Dunze and really like Xavier Legette. All right, for the rest of the video, we get 95 pluses. First one we got right here is Chris Olave with 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 6'1" height, 90s across the board for route running. And for his abilities, though, he gets a really good 0 AP one with mid and elite. I think mid and elite is better than matchup nightmare on receiver. Can light up on a ton of posts and potentially some corners as well. I think Chris Olave with that mid and elite, I think it's really valuable. Good 0 AP ability. For me, Chris Olave joins the A tier because of that. And I know you might be like, oh, that's crazy. Like, he shouldn't really be A tier. I don't know. We might have to drop everyone down again, depending on the final list. But I do think right now, I think he's better than everyone in B. And right after that, we get MVS right here with 96 speed, 94 acceleration, 95 agility, 90s across the board for route running, 6'4" height. And he can get a lighted up token to get him to 97 speed. The reason why you would do that, okay? So just from a base ability standpoint, doesn't get anything crazy for like 0 or anything, but he could get the short and elite X factor, or potentially like Slotomatic as well for 0 if you did want to use a lighted up token. I don't hate that. For me, MVS, I think he is again in this A tier. He was S tier a while with like plaques in them, but I'm gonna go ahead and put him A tier. Wherever you have plaques, I'd have MVS. And now after that, we got Tory Holt, 95 speed, 97 acceleration, 6 foot 190, 90s across the board for route running. Again, gets the Super Bowl theme team chem as well. And for his abilities right here, doesn't get anything crazy for like 0 AP, but just get rack him up or ankle breaker. I think it's pretty solid. For me, I'm gonna put Tory Holt again by the X Factor players called like Dion and Devin Hester. I'm gonna put him in the A tier as well. And we also get Dante Hall with 96 speed, 97 acceleration, 90s across the board for outrunning. The reason you would run him, I think him and Dion are kind of comparable because they both get yak him up. He gets return man as well, so good. If you want to put him at kick return, you can do that too, but yak him up after the catch, breaks the first tackle. Very similar to what Deion Sanders. Literally wherever you have Dion, I have Dante Hall right by him. And after that, we get Steve Largent with 95 speed, 5'11" height, 90s across the board for outrunning. And for his abilities, however, he can go ahead and get a short and elite for 1 AP, evasive, route tech. It's not great at this point. He's just kind of like at this point, if I'm gonna be honest with you. So for me, Steve Largent is gonna go ahead and join this B tier right here. And right after that, we get Deebo Samuel with 96 speed, 96 acceleration, 5'11", so a little bit shorter, but 90s across the board for route running. And for his abilities right here, he gets a mid and elite for 0. You can also use the light up token on him. He can get ankle breaker, deep elite, or rack him up. Don't love these abilities, so I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just saying you could do it. For me, big thing, mid and elite for 0. And in my opinion, base card, he is just as good as Chris Olave. So wherever you have Chris Olave, I have Deebo right next to him. And I'll probably put them above I'd probably put them like right here. And again, obviously theme teams make Deebo a little bit better because he can get Super Bowl, but like base card, him and Olave are going to play very similar. And we get Jair Alexander at receiver right here with 96 speed, 97 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. He is 5'10". He does get some pretty cool abilities too. So X factor wise, double me can get elevated for 3, yak him up to 3 as well. And these don't start on. You have to hit in-game objectives for them to turn on still, but it's pretty easy to get them to. Ability wise, I think this is where these cards stand out. So grab and go and what's called third down threat for 0 is really, really nice. So for me, Jair and really like all these Genki Force cards, they get the same abilities. And also that we'll go on a little run of Genki Force cards. I'm gonna put Jair Alexander in them right here. I think they are above like Deebo and Chris Olave, and you could argue them above like Plax and MVS too because they do get really nice abilities. And we also get DK Metcalf, 96 speed, 96 acceleration, 6'3" height, 90s across the board for route running, and even has good impact blocking for like being a run blocker in the run game, of course. And pretty much same thing, double me tier 3, yak him up tier 3, and once again gets third down threat, grab and go for 0. I believe you can get this combo too because when I use them, I had that combo. I know I'm not losing my mind. I know I'm not, but anyway, so DK Metcalf, I think he I get a ton of questions about where these cards rank for me. For me, DK would be above Jair because he's taller. Also get Devonte Adams as well right here with 95 speed, 96 acceleration, 6'1" height, 90s across the board for route running. And for his abilities, guess what? Pretty similar once again. This time max security or yak him up. So it doesn't get the double me, but you don't need double me on every receiver, right? And for me, again, the card's value is grab and go, third down threat for 0 AP. Devonte Adams is once again going to go ahead and be this time a little bit behind DK though. Think he's above Jair, but a little bit behind DK. And we'll also, I know we're kind of skipping overalls right here, but we'll just go over Derwin James wide receiver as well because they're all from the same promo and they're very similar. Derwin James, 6'2" height, 97 speed, 96 acceleration, again 90s across the board for route running, and again good impact blocking like DK. And this time for his X factors, max security and Vanguard is kind of crazy on the receiver, I can't lie, but no double me. This time though for abilities gets third down threat and grab and go for 0 combo together. So Derwin, in my opinion, I would say DK out the bunch is the best. You can definitely make arguments. For me, I would place Derwin right here. You can, you know what? you can say he's better than DK2. Now, after that, we get Jawan Jennings with 96 speed. He is 6'3", 90s across the board for route running. And again, pretty good run blocker as well for a receiver at least. And this time for discount though, it's kind of crazy. So he can go ahead and get a red zone threat for 0 and wide receiver apprentice for 0. So why I say that's crazy is with the dream stack in the game, you could make how route master with just your base receivers. Now, obviously you'll be missing a little bit of speed, but I mean, all these 0 AP apprentices, you can save a little bit of AP. And red zone threat for 0, I would place him above like Deebo in them. And you could argue, is he better than the Genki Force cards? I could see that argument as well. I think he's definitely in this A tier for sure though. And after that, we get Drake London, 6'4" height, 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. And this time for his abilities, gets outside apprentice, run off elite, and mid and elite all for discount. And they're not great, right? I think Drake London's still solid, but not great abilities. I'm gonna go ahead and place him in this B tier. And we also get Steve Smith right here, 5'9", so a little bit shorter, but 95 speed, 96 acceleration, good route runnings across the board. And for his abilities this time, he can get third down threat, mid out, route tech, all for discount, none for 0 AP, and no X factors as well. So for me, Steve Smith is gonna go ahead and join this B tier for sure. And you know what? I'm gonna do what I said earlier. We're gonna drop everyone down right here. We're gonna split up the A tier a little bit. I think this is gonna be a little bit better. And yeah, I mean, just like C tier cards just really not getting great abilities, I'm gonna go ahead and say this right here is a new B tier because I do think the Genki Force cards are better than these cards. Now, you might think Deebo and B is crazy. Deebo and Chris Olave are the closest to A for me, but I just like all these cards a lot more than them. And after that, we get Alec Pierce with 95 speed, 95 acceleration. He is 6'3", so has good height, 90s across the board for route running. And this time for his abilities, he gets Jukebox for 0, Slot Apprentice for 0 as well. He can go ahead and he can't get a combo, but Slot Apprentice for 0, receiver, Jukebox for 0 as well. I like the Jukebox as well, especially after the catch, but I mean, kind of, I would put him similar level to Hines Ward because he does have some height as well. I'm going to go ahead and put him in the B tier. And now after that, we get Donovan Peoples-Jones with 97 speed, 90s across the board for outrunning. He is 6'2". And this time for his X factors right here, he can get double me, rack him up, or evasive for 0. So the double me for 0 is kind of crazy. And he can get red zone threat for 0 as well. So in my opinion, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to go ahead and slightly make this S tier for me. I like the X factor. I will say he's probably not a top 3 receiver in the game, but I do, again, I think double me is very, very valuable. So I would rank him above everyone in A. And after that, though, we get Michael Irvin with 97 speed, 6'2" height, 90s across the board for route running. And this time for his abilities, he can get double me once again, but it doesn't stop there. So double me he can get. This time for discount, though, can get Jukebox and wide receiver apprentice for 0. Now, that is crazy. And when we talk about his price, right? I mean, 2.5 mil, is it worth it? Worth is always kind of subjective. I don't think that is, I don't think that's what's called worth it price, but I think you can say he's the best receiver in the game or right behind Calvin. I mean, Calvin's double me is 6'5". It's not crazy to say either or. I really don't think it's crazy to say Michael Irvin's the best or Calvin's still the best. Now, after that, we get Keyshawn Johnson right here that could be up to a 97 overall. And he has 95 speed, 92 acceleration, doesn't hit 90 deep route running. So, and he's 6'4". I mean, he has good height, but no 90 deep route running on a 97 is crazy. But when we look at his abilities, right? He does get wide receiver apprentice for 0. So again, man, when we talk about receivers right now, you have potentially, we've covered 3 today, 0 AP wide receiver apprentice. So you can save a little bit of AP from Howard Master. I don't think he's a great receiver though. I mean, he has height, but I mean, not 90 deep route running. It's just tough, man. I mean, I could see you arguing like anywhere in this tier, but 0 AP wide receiver apprentice is good if you don't want to run Howard Master, but again, just not like, I mean, he has height at least, right? So I think he has B tier value. And right after that, we got Julio Jones, 6'3" height, 97 speed, 97 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. And this time though, when we take a look at his abilities, he can go ahead and get that Moss NFL Combine. First player in the game to get this, right? It takes 9 plays to charge up, but pretty much this is like Moss 100 from Madden 21. It is kind of crazy. So I do think that is kind of crazy, but when we look at his just base abilities as well, third down threat, red zone threat for 0 AP is kind of crazy too. Like either or, I'd probably go red zone threat. So for me, Julio, I do think Julio makes my S tier for sure. I do. I think Julio is very, very tough. Again, with that Moss X factor, he's very, very good. I'm going to go ahead and place him in the S tier as well. And now after that though, we got Justin Jefferson, 98 speed, 97 acceleration, 6'1", 90s across the board for route running. Rare time where the compass card is really, really good. Now for his abilities though, this is where it gets kind of crazy. So on the LTD one, this is the one we're ranking. Third down threat for 0 in either bucket is really nice. And also comboed with that, you can get deep elite or short elite for 0. So deep elite is deep out plus deep in, short elite, short in plus short out. I'd probably go short elite. This card with that, I think is pretty nuts. I can see an argument for S tier, and you know what? I might actually do that because third down threat plus that, because he can beat the man coverage as well. I am okay with him being S tier, man. I definitely am. Like that ability combo is pretty nuts. Specifically on the LTD LTD one. The non-LTD one would be A tier for me. And now editing back, I almost literally randomly forgot Darius Hayward Bay. That's on me. But Darius Hayward Bay, he doesn't get unique X factor this time with Rack 'em Up or Yak 'em Up. If you played Yak 'em Up, you know, like the Dion, the Dante Hall we talked about, breaking that first tackle, 0 AP, and it'll be on the entire game is kind of crazy after 9 plays. Wide receiver apprentice for 0 as well. Route tech short. Like, I think the wide receiver apprentice or even evasive as well for after the catch. 98 speed, 90s cross support for out running, 6'2". For me, Darius Hayward Bay is kind of like a couple steps up from like Dion and them. I could see him right here, but I'm going to go ahead and place him right here because that Yak 'em Up is no joke, man. It is no joke. When that's on the entire game, he is going to be a problem after the catch. So yeah, boys, this has been my updated wide receiver rankings in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Who do you think should go up? Who do you think should come down? I know a ton of people are going to disagree with my rankings right here because wide receiver is one where there are so many good ones. Like if you're running people in the B tier, I don't think it's bad. If you're running people even in like the D tier, man, theme teams, I mean, even I still run Van Jefferson on the Super Bowl theme teams. Like certain value cards too, like I totally get it. Receivers are somewhere I'm very much prioritizing X factor and abilities. So that's why my list is looking like this. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments though. And if you guys did enjoy this video though, you enjoy content like this, want to stay updated with the best cards in Madden, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, if you do want to go ahead and watch me use some of these cards live, I stream Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube and Twitch. To watch on the YouTube side of things, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I go live or upload here, or to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here because I rank the best running backs in Madden 24.